My professional background is in the steel industry. I worked at U.S. Steel for a number of years and was involved in safety, labor relations, management development, and so forth in several different company locations. I graduated from Dartmouth College with a bachelor's in history, and then from the School of Oriental and African Studies, University of London, with a master's in Middle East Area Studies. Well, I think that companies today are more anxious, more ambitious about having people up to speed almost immediately. They have had less and less time to have people acclimate to the work situation. So they really expect new hires or people who are new to positions to hit the ground running. And so that means that oftentimes we're challenged to come up with educational programming that can be put into small enough chunks and scheduled to the convenience of the company so that they don't lose much actual work time from the employees. I did just complete a program. It involved 4 3-day modules spread over a number of months. It was to address the development needs of a company that wanted to have a program designed for the needs of a middle management group that was going to have to move further in terms of assuming new responsibilities because the company is not only growing, but they're also expanding in scope so that they're really part and parcel of globalization. I had given a performance management case to a group to work with, and it had to do with a delivery driver, like an overnight delivery person, who absolutely had to deliver the package by 10 o'clock. And because bad traffic and the elevator wasn't working and who knows what else, he didn't make the delivery on time. And so when I presented this to an American group about what they would do, they said, well, we'd chew the guy out because he didn't plan well enough, he didn't leave himself enough time, so on and so forth. I mean, the guy was on the verge of being disciplined. When I did the same thing in Colombia, I asked the group, well, what do you think? What are you going to do? And the Colombians' response was, we would thank him for trying so very hard. Even though he didn't make it by 10 o'clock, he put forth an excellent effort, and so we would thank him. More and more in recent times, I've gotten into the issue of globalization and managing in different cultural settings, how to develop global business teams, leadership change, and we're putting a lot more emphasis now on knowledge management as well. Well, I think it's absolutely critical that organizations encourage lifelong learning. The fact of the matter is that the business picture is very different now than it was even 10 years ago. And people who haven't bothered to stay up to date lose out in a hurry. And I think that day of reckoning comes faster and faster as we move forward. And so that's really the basic challenge. If you went to a training program 5 years ago and you haven't done anything since, or you're not reading, you're not actively challenging yourself to move forward on these things, or taking an online course or something, you're falling behind.